Well, it's great to meet you. Before we get into your life, um, you know, in pharmacy and all of these other things health-wise that you do, I want to begin our conversation with 4 years ago, we were trying to figure out what this pandemic was going to do, wrapping our heads around it. And
Okay.
now that we're kind of in this quote unquote post-pandemic era, how did you survive that time period and how did it change you?
Wow, post-pandemic. I'm laughing because I believe how I handled it was the complete opposite for
Yeah.
most people. I actually love the quiet time and not being around people. It was just me, my husband at the time, and our kids. And over the summer, we have a pool. It was like a mini vacation at home every single day.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I work in a hospital setting, so from that aspect, that was very heart-wrenching for me. I have coworkers that died of COVID. Um, just the stress that was filled around us in the hospital setting because we didn't have enough beds for everybody. We were overfilled, overstaffed, and understaffed, and just seeing how rapid death came for people, and then hearing on the news and people doubting what's going on, and we're here seeing it firsthand. That was very hard for me. Um, to see people really doubt and question what was going on
Yeah.
when it's right in front of my face every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get to the heart and soul of what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in
Mhm.
front of a bunch of third graders. It's career day. One of the
Okay.
kids curiously looks up and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Hi, I help people get better and feel better every day.
Okay. So how do you explain that to me?
I will say I help people understand their disease states, what kind of medications they're taking, and also how they can get off those medications by focusing on how they eat.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream ultimately to grow up and become?
I wanted to be a singer.
Okay. Did you sing?
I At that time, I didn't. I wanted to be a singer and actor. So
Yeah.
at that time, I really didn't sing, but I listened to music.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, I have a Jamaican roots. I'm Jamaican. I was born there. I had a lot of reggae stars, old school reggae stars my mom will listen to. I hear the instruments. I come from a musical family, so I had that like natural ear for music. So I just wanted to do all things music and entertainment.
So take me back to your childhood and what were the seeds that got into you to get into healthcare, to want to have this be your life pursuit?
The turning point where I actually realized I wanted to do something healthcare wise was, I think I was about 13 or 14. My mother took my brother and I back to Jamaica because my grandmother was dying of lung cancer, and she was literally on her deathbed. She was a heavy smoker, and I remember being in that room. I was so scared and felt helpless because there's nothing I could do. My grandmother was dying, and this is the first time I'm seeing someone physically dying in my life. And I thought about that experience later on, and even in that moment, feeling so helpless because I couldn't do anything, I was like, I want to do something where I can help people like my grandmother, whether it's to prevent them from dying or to kind of make that process a little bit better because I could tell she was in pain, you know. So a couple years later, when I'm a freshman in high school, I sat down with my mom and I said, I want to, start thinking about what I want to do for college when I go to college. And I know I want to help people. My mom's a nurse. And I said, so I think I'm going to be a nurse like you, because you go to work, you help people who are sick. She said, no, you are not allowed to be a nurse. Her exact words, you are not allowed to be a nurse. I said, why? And she said, because I know you, you don't like certain smells, you don't want to see blood. And she was so right.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what can I do to help people without being around that? So she had me go to the local pharmacy and talk to the pharmacist. She had me talk to some of her friends who were engineers and in other medical fields. And I decided I want to be a pharmacist because I can help people. I can give them medicine to feel better, and that's it. And I can study oncology. So actually, my first job, I was working for a pharmaceutical company in oncology drug research. After
Okay.
I started it actually at the end of my training in pharmacy school, and then continued after I graduated. So that's what exposed me to wanting to help people get better.
Yeah.
And in conjunction with that, coming from a Caribbean family, my mom cooked, it was herbs, it was natural foods, no processed foods. I didn't get sick. I remember getting sick as a child when I was in fourth grade. And I was like, what's wrong with me, mom? So I didn't get sick that often. And so really from then I understood, not really putting together at that time, but in retrospect, understanding that what you put into your body affects your health as well.
It certainly does. Excuse me. So I'm curious, in this professional journey that you've been on, who's been like a hero or an inspiration for you?
I would say absolutely my mother, hands down, has
Yeah.
been an inspiration for me. One, always being supportive for the decisions I made, right? But also seeing her journey to become a healthcare professional, a nurse herself. She came from Jamaica, didn't have a college degree, was working. My dad and her got separated when I was 9. They divorced when I was 16. And so she was on her own with me and my brother since I was 9. She worked as a nanny, she worked as a waitress while putting herself through school, through nursing school. And I never knew that we struggled. I thought we were living the best life ever. But being able to do that so flawlessly, where I didn't see the struggle, but felt the love and the dedication she had to the kids and also to her patients. She truly enjoyed being a nurse,
Yeah.
and she still is a nurse to this day and still enjoys it. Uh, she's definitely been a huge influence in how I am professionally. It was important to do something I love.
Yeah. So if you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, who would that be? Who would you love to meet and spend time with?
One person on the planet that I would love to meet and spend time. Rachel Rogers, she has nothing to do with healthcare. She is,
Right.
have you heard of her?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is, I'm just drawn to her charisma, her unapologeticness. I just love her personality and how she's helped women really step into themselves and to succeed. I would love
Yeah.
to spend time with her.
So what has been the consistent drive for you every day to get up and do the work that you do? You're helping other people, but you also have to evolve yourself as a human. What's that drive consistently for you?
It's a two-part. One, I have about to be a 6-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
right? And then two, looking at being in the healthcare field and realizing that I'm in a culture that's not really designed to help people get better, but in a way just to maintain illness, maintain sick care. It's sick care, it's not healthcare, pretty
Yeah.
much. I want to be able to have an influence on switching it more to healthcare and helping other healthcare professionals understand how they can do it, see how they can do it, know that it is possible. And then for my daughter, having her see me step outside the box and break these molds and encouraging her that she can do the same because she is my legacy. And this is not something that's going to happen in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. So she can see what I'm doing and hopefully she can pick up the torch and continue doing it as well.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh, the best advice I've ever gotten. That's a good question. That is a very good question. That would be, I think it would be to just really trust yourself, right?
Yeah.
Um, because as humans, sometimes we can doubt ourselves because we can't tell the future. We don't know if the decisions we make are going to be the best ones at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
But trust yourself. And I guess another way is like to go with your gut, right? And in line with that is to go with your passion. So
Yeah.
that's what that really translated for me. So when I was in pharmacy, I was 9 years a pharmacist when I wanted more. I wanted to really get extra training and do a residency program so that I can be more on hands with patients. That's a very difficult decision because I have to take a pay cut. You know, I think at that time it was about a $80,000-$90,000 pay cut a year to go back into residency. So, but my gut said, it's okay. Follow your passion. Your passion is to be more on hands with patients so you can have an impact on their lives. This is the step to do it. This is the stepping stone to do it. I did it. And then that completion of residency put me right into a position that didn't exist at the time, but existed right when it needed to exist perfectly for me to have that on hands interaction with patients, to educate them on their health, to educate them on medications. So that advice to just follow my gut, trust myself, follow my passion, it took me there, and that then led me to what I'm doing today, with even more so being more on hands and guiding people day to day to focus on their health through nutrition and their genetics, and listening to their genetics.
So if you had a dream tonight, you ran into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've led, the wisdom you've gained, what advice would you give that young version of you, and would that version of you listen?
The questions you're asking are very deep.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have to
just
think about this. What advice would I give 18-year-old Tamar? So let me tell you where 18-year-old Tamar was. 18-year Tamar was freshman in college, right?
yeah,
Pharmacy school, straight from high school, straight into a pharmacy program. I thought that college was going to be easy because everything else was easy. School was easy for me. Chemistry, I did chemistry in high school. Sure, I got it. I don't need to study.
yeah,
I just need to study the basics, like what the teacher taught, not realizing I needed to go deeper. So I got my first F in my life ever
yeah,
in college. And I was like, okay, if I got an F in chemistry, how am I going to finish college? I have 5 more years to go,
yeah,
you know? Um, so 18-year-old Tamar would be told, ask for help. I never asked for help.
yeah,
I was someone that will figure it out on my own. I wasn't going to get a tutor. I will figure it out on my own because that's what I always did.
yeah.
So I would tell, and all I did it. I figured it out on my own, my own all the way through college. I never got help. I never asked for help, and that's what I was telling myself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay to ask for help.
Sure.
You
Sure.
don't have to figure it out on your own.
So now we're going to flash forward of all of the things that you've done in your life. What are you the proudest of?
I'm the proudest of being a mother.
Yeah.
Proudest of being a mother, and it's interesting because I was never the type of person that I would say had motherly instincts. Like I know I was never like, oh, when I grow up, I want to have 100 kids and I want all the babies in the world. And it was like, no, I want to travel the world. And if I have a child, that's going to hinder my ability to travel. And I just want to live life. So I didn't have a child till I was 38. 38. Now I'm 44 with a 6-year-old and loving it because that was a very intentional decision. I was like, okay, I've done everything. I've traveled. I've seen everything. I have my doctorate in pharmacy. I have this business. I'm volunteering and helping the community. And my husband and I, we decided, okay, we'll start a family. And I was ready because I didn't feel like I was selfish anymore. I was ready now
Yeah.
to share my life with somebody, with a child, and bring them into this world. And yeah, and I'm so proud of my little girl. She is like a mini me,
Yeah.
and I know I work with others to help them stay healthy, but I want to stay healthy. So as a older mom, I can see her flourish and see what she becomes and what she accomplishes.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ooh, who do I think I am? I think I'm just someone trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
am trying to figure it out, you know? It's like I know what I want to do. I know I'm doing it. I'm helping people get better, but um still trying to figure it out. Is this the best way to do it? Is what more can I do? And there's so much more I want to do. Can I add that onto my plate?
Yeah,
Just trying to figure it out.
I get it totally. So if anyone wants to indulge in your business, learn more about you, reach out, any of the good business, where can they go?
They can go to my website, www.thelifebalance.com. Life is spelled LYFE. It's an acronym for Love Yourself First Every Day, which I encourage everyone to do.
Absolutely. This has been wonderful. Thank you for your story. It's so, what a great timeline and all of the accomplishments. I appreciate your story today.
Thank you, Joe.
Best of luck with everything.